and now the signal is all green. So this should be okay now. Fucking hell. So it was the relay. Okay.
It really took me by surprise.
Yeah.
How big it is and how kind
Hi
of
guys, we are back. I
Vision.
think I figured out the issue.
Hi.
I believe the issue was with the Restream hub, which was fucking up. I was sending to London and London was lagging. So should be good now. This is not dropping frames on my end. Now if I can figure out watch together link, we can get this show on the road. Okay. Song is playing, already hear sounds, and this should be okay, whatever. No volume and full screen. Boom. Slightly out of sync. No, they're on sync. Okay. Volume for this. Alright. The power of Mega Blast. Still have 7 minutes to go, so we can still have more technical problems to resolve. That's fine. Get to the chopper! Hey Dascon, it sucks that you can't be here today with us. Hope to have you on another show. Dascon was originally supposed to join us today because he was the one who had the idea to get Virgil into the show.
Yes, it was planned to do the show together here, but he had some problems to come over. Yeah. Hi Bernd.
To show my guitar. I'm having problems with my screen, but it's fine. I don't need the screen. Who needs screens for streaming? I think everything is ready.
Marvelous.
Yeah, only 5 minutes to go. So what demos are we missing from you guys? You already have your first demo of each one?
Yeah.
What about the demo you are most proud of?
Man, it's always the next one, you know?
Yeah, there's always one more. So think about that. You have whole 5 minutes to think about that. Which demo you are most proud of?
Right.
Before I ask you live on stream.
Are we good on the frame rate and stuff?
Yeah, it was Restream ingest server that was fucking up. So I changed it to another one and now it seems to be fine.
Cool.
And we are back at 720p, so we're good.
All good.
Mega Blast. And just because RC55 requested, I'm gonna put H+ playing next. Because it's important. Dick Grayson's Darkest Secrets. That's I was hoping the demo would be a bit better, but well, we did it as good as we could. But we got a nice email for that demo, Dick Grayson's Darkest Secrets, asking if it would be okay to show it at some museum thing Like, yeah, sure, whatever, please, go ahead.
He's busy on stream. I feel like he'd like this prod.
Oh shit. Okay, special request for RC55 with smooth transitions and all. I'll put a little
Nice.
louder.
Louder!
Louder.
Oh, if my open monitors are annoying, just let me know. I'll put cancel.
I haven't heard the feedback, so
Cool.
unless someone complains, we're good. So what beer are you guys having? I'm having Superbock, the national Portuguese beer.
I'm currently drinking Lidl's Finest by the fake craft brewery Hatherwood.
Green Gecko?
And plain Carlsberg for me.
That's very commercial.
Boring.
Erdinger alkoholfrei.
That's also extremely commercial.
Sorry, beer fans.
Well, you're the one who had the more eclectic brand, Fell. Well, at least I didn't know
No,
it.
it's just pretending to be. It's absolutely fake. I looked it up. It's complete rubbish.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. So mysterious.
And there he goes. Getting more guitars.
Fell, what's that fireplace? Is that doesn't look like a normal fireplace?
Well, it's just a psychological fireplace. It's
Okay.
It's a cool light that my mum bought me. But the dog actually, there's never been a fire there, but the dog will lie down in front of it. It's so effective that he thinks it's an actual fireplace.
It'll be a
And it gives, if you have the other lights off, you have a really nice glow, and it just feels like there's probably a roaring open fire behind you. It's very cozy.
Okay, so it's 9 PM. It's time we get started, so I'm gonna pause this a little bit to do introductions. So welcome everyone to Mystery Demoscene Theater 9000, Season 2, Episode 5. Today with us we have Punqtured, Virgill, and Fell. So how are you guys doing? Great?
Fine, thank you.
Pretty good.
We have people on the chat, so let us know if you have any specific questions for any of our guests. We are going to get right into it and just ask Punqtured, how the hell did you get into the demo scene?
Well, it was... I started playing this text-based role-playing game on a modem. And I met some guys there. I think it was back in 89 or 90. And they were in a demo group and they asked me to join, and we actually did nothing, basically, for several years. But it was fun as hell, and they had a computer and I had a computer. And well, that's how I got interested in the demo scene. And then I went to the party in 92, and I was completely sold on this demo scene.
What was the best demo that you remember from the party in 92?
I have absolutely no recollection of any of the productions of that party. I was totally blown away just by the sheer amount of people there. It was like 3,000 people. Unlike any demo party today, it was huge, and you had all these music combos and all these demo combos. Everything was amazing. So
State of the Art was released at the party, 92.
Oh,
okay.
Really?
So I guess we will play that one.
Nice.
Right now, so people can
Awesome.
remember the golden days.
Yes. Brings back memories.
Oh yeah.
So you went to the party 92 and you finally
Yeah.
decided to start becoming productive? Was that?
Actually, I started playing around with music around that age, and didn't actually release anything until I think 95 or 96, and then I kind of stopped again after 2000 and had a 10-year break where I did absolutely nothing. And then Revival, the coder of my group, he called me up and asked me to shouldn't we do a synthesizer? And I was like, yeah, we can do that. And he did a synthesizer, and it was actually based on my Walkman JP8080 synthesizer. So he kind of tried to recreate that synthesizer.
But are you like a professional musician? What did you do on those 10 years? Are you a programmer? What's your background?
No. Yeah, I actually used to work as a programmer, but not in visual or audio or anything like that. Mainly web-based. PHP, Perl, or the telecom industry. But just it helped.
We're having trouble hearing you with your mic, Puncture. Don't know if it's.
Sorry.
I'm having deja vus of the stream we did with Navis, where he just started breaking up in the middle.
That's right, yeah. I actually saw that one. I'll try to continue then. If you can still hear me?
I can hear you now, so okay, go ahead.
Yeah, cool. We did the synthesizer, and I started doing executable music, and that was in 2010. That's how it really got kick-started me again, exploring this nice restricted music. Then I got into the 4K music. I was still hanging around with the Loonies guys from back then. Oh, that's the first track I actually released in a demo. It's a 40K, and I used samples in a 4-channel Pro Tracker. Oh. That's fun.
Hold on, let me put it a bit louder. I don't think people can really hear it.
And
Great graphics.
Yeah. I had nothing to do with those. But we hung out. The Danish Demoscene, even back then, wasn't that big. So the Danish kind of knew each other, everyone. So we hung out with the Lucas guys in 2010. Blueberry were building his Klingster synthesizer, and that's how I got into 4K. Then it just went there. I did another synthesizer, software synthesizer called which I used.
You're breaking up again. Sorry, Punctured.
Sorry. Every time I start talking about Revival, he created a synthesizer called the Quiver. He used that to do beautiful music, and well, ever since 2010, I've just been excited to make music.
Okay, you're really breaking up. It's hard to hear you. Maybe I don't know. Speak slower.
Slower.
Speak slow.
Oh.
I'm hoping it's buffering or something like that. When you
Okay.
have very large samples, it tries not to break them apart. So try shorter sentences. That should help. I hope.
Okay.
We're hearing you okay now, for example. So I don't know. It's
Well, we did a synthesizer called Quiver, and I used it for executable music mainly, but also a couple of 64K intros. And
what 64K can we show right now, for example?
you should show one called Our Drums Can Beat Your Mom's.
Our drums, okay.
Good choice.
Yeah, I have it. Hold on a second. Boom. Play. Okay, so you mostly do music with other people's synthesizers. Do you program the synthesizers as well?
No, I don't.
Just fool around with the synthesizer until it sounds good.
Yeah, I'm a bit involved in the developing of the synthesizer, but mainly in explaining how a synthesizer works to a programmer who actually programs it.
Nice.
Okay, that's interesting. So you were saying that you used to be a programmer. Are you like what do you do on your for work?
For work now, I'm a product manager.
Okay.
I decide how much data and hours should be in mobile subscriptions and stuff like that.
Okay. Good. It's a job.
Yeah. It's fun as hell.
Okay, that's important. Okay, so right now we're watching one of your 64Ks. I don't know, does anyone on the chat have any specific questions for Punqtured about one of the synths maybe that you guys used? How many synths have you been doing now?
Shit.
You were
I've been
involved
using-
in Krinkster. You were involved in.
The new one by Looney is called Oidos as well. And this synthesizer called Quiver.
That one isn't released yet, is it?
No, it was never released.
Okay.
He wanted to actually go commercial with it, but
okay.
But never got far enough. So, and I think 2 or 3 other synthesizers before this one actually. So, yeah.
There's
That's
a question.
what I do.
A question on the chat. What's your favorite Demoscene synthesizer?
Right now, it has to be 64 Clang 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing modular synthesizer.
I heard Virgill has played with it as well.
Yeah, a couple of times.
So, Virgill, I guess you can answer this question as well. What's your favorite Demoscene synthesizer right now?
Yes, for sure, 64 Clang 2, yeah. It has all the possibilities a musician wants, yeah.
Okay. I haven't tried it yet, so now you're getting me excited to try it out. Meanwhile, let's play a random demo. I guess this...
Totally modular. You can do basically anything you want with it.
Right now we are playing Unprogress by Firelight, which won the 4K compo at Solskogen this weekend.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it earlier during the pre-show that it was it looked pretty good aesthetically. The sound is a bit horrible.
It looks amazing.
The sound could be
I
better.
wouldn't say horrible.
Let's call it. Let's be politically correct.
It's pretty harsh.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh.
A little bit thin, maybe.
Yeah. As
But
I wrote in my comment on Poet, I think it's always a fine balance between small and boring, or large and interesting. And this one tips a bit too much to the boring side. Perhaps to save bytes.
Yeah, but the intro itself was pretty good, regardless of that.
It's amazing.
Even the font is great.
Yeah. You don't see a lot of fonts in 4Ks these days.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's a choice. I mean, the music is barely functional, but it's such a conscious choice to save the bytes there.
Yeah,
save
definitely.
the bytes by doing a really nice, simple, clean renderer, a really simple material, and spend them on camera and direction. And I just think it really achieves. And of course, the text engine absolutely is, that's an expensive thing to be able to put into a 4K. I just think it achieves everything that it's set out to do, and it's a victorious prod. For me, that's a good one.
Yeah. And it definitely did the trick.
Yeah,
Must have
absolutely.
looked amazing on a big screen.
Oh, I bet it did. I only wish I'd been there, but it looked awesome on the stream as well. It kicked hard.
Yeah.
This is another intro, which this one does have sound by you, Punqtured. Can you tell us a little bit about this one?
Yeah, that was actually quite a quick production. We pulled it off in 2 days, I think. I was just fooling around with the Eidos synthesizer, and we had to release something for the outline demo party. After all, it was with the minimal demo group with Glow and Tropical Trevor. They're both Dutch, and they were both attending the party, so of course we had to release something.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had to do a quick track.
Was this made at the party place?
No, I couldn't attend myself, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
So I was at home, and I think I got 2 nights work.
Should be enough for anyone.
Yeah,
to do a new track. It turned out pretty good. I like this intro a lot. Both the visual and the sound. They both fit very well, and it really works very well.
It's really cool. I hadn't seen this.
The problem with Eidos is you don't have actual filter control. So, like with Forklang, you can do filter sweeps. I had to do 4 different instruments to create the impression of a filter sweeping. And you can still hear it.
And that's more size as well, right? If you're doing 4 versions.
But 4 almost identical instruments, they will pack quite good.
Okay.
Only change a single parameter, and it'll pack to basically nothing.
Okay.
Even though.
Virgil, I'm curious. What's your opinion on Eidos and this soundtrack in particular?
Yes, I had the opportunity to test it, and I've did a track together with Punqtured for a minimal intro. Well, it works like charm. It's like butter.
It's butter.
It's great sounding. It's a very organic sounding.
Well,
I like organic sounds.
What intro are you talking about? The one that you made? I found it. That's the name, right?
Correct. Correct.
Let me try to play that one. I didn't realize that you guys had made a track together. Add playlist.
We made the one for Eidolon as well together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So not this one.
Not that one. We made that one together. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not the only one.
No.
They multiply. Okay, what can you tell me about this one?
It used to sound a lot better, but due to the size limitations, I really had to slaughter a bunch of the magic.
So Eidos can produce just great organ and core sounds. I love it. But in this version, the reverb was missing, yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't implemented yet. It was an early version of the synthesizer. And it was a test to do, I think it was Glow who wanted to test 3D fonts in 4K intros.
Yeah. text rendering, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So we just had to hack some music together in a hurry.
So you guys are two of the most active people on doing sounds for 4Ks and intros. What do you think of like the whole scene on this regard? Do you think there are a lack of people doing different synths? Hard to find musicians to do stuff?
Yes. A lot more people should be doing 4K music.
Yeah.
It's really not that difficult. And
Says you.
No, yeah, but I know from when I did music back before 2000, I was dreaming about having my music being used in a production, and you have a crap ton of coders doing stuff with shaders, and they all need music.
It's very true.
If you really want your music out there to experience your own music on a huge PA, go ahead and do 4K music. I know the limitations are of course you can't do what you're used to.
There's a question in the chat right now asking, can non-programmers even give it a try? Like, how hard is it if you're not a coder to work on this synth? Like, what's your usual? Tell us a little bit of what your setup is. Like, what do you need to do music using this synth? You just start a program. What do you need?
For Oiders, you would need some knowledge of how trackers work, and that's basically it. You create instruments. It's fairly easy. I wouldn't, if you haven't done music with synthesizers before, I wouldn't recommend Forklang. It's way better in most aspects, but it's difficult. It has a steep learning curve. You should go with either Klingster or Oiders for a first. And you can simply create instruments just by pulling sliders. It's as easy as that. And just create something in a tracker. For Oiders and Klingster, you have to use renoise at the moment.
Okay.
And there's a few limitations, but once you know the limitations, the rules that you need to stick to, it's actually fairly easy. I can recommend watching my seminar at Revision, this year's Revision. I gave a seminar on size restricted music. There's a lot of hints there. It's really easy, and it's just so amazing to hear your music, to see it, see the visuals put to your music. I so much want other musicians to do this as well. It's a fantastic opportunity. So,
Virgill, do you? I mean, obviously, I think you agree with Punqtured, but you also do code yourself. So, I mean, my question is: there are so many people out there looking for music. Why do they always come to you? I mean, they ask you for track because they can't find any other musicians. Like,
because I deliver.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. So it's quite easy to do for 4K music nowadays. You don't have to. You don't really have to know programming. But yes, Kasper is right here. For Forklang, what I use, it might be good to have some knowledge about how a synth works, and to know what a filter is and an oscillator. It's not just sliders. It's a little bit more complicated. But yeah.
I mean, you even did like a series of instruments for Forklang and distributed them around. Do you see a lot of people using just, the presets of Forklang, the instruments that you did without making their own? Do people like send you mails asking for how can I make this kind of sound?
Yes, for sure. Some of my friends are asking for help with their instruments, and here and there I do a little help, but I fairly think I just show him how to start, and then they have to run along.
Okay, right now we're playing.
Also has a bank of presets in the Forklang distribution, don't you, mate? From Sundowner.
Oh yeah, that's right.
just
yeah. Yeah. Actually, I think it's my only ever released Forklang track.
Well, those instruments are awesome. I have to say, there's a couple in there that I always reach for in the Punqtured preset bank.
So, Rift, do you also do music using soft synths, or are you just coding?
What normally happens is that if we really need a track, see, now we have Bex, who's fantastic, but hasn't actually got onto 4K music yet. But what normally happens if we have no track, I'll start one, and very quickly that persuades somebody competent to
that old trick.
So, I mean, I do, you know, I do the beginning bit that gets thrown away, and that's fine by me.
Okay, so I guess we can, if there's any questions for Punqtured on the chat, please feel free to ask them. Otherwise, we will move on. Oh, they're asking if you're attending Evoke.
Yeah, I can see that. Unfortunately, I'll be turning 40 those days, so I'm sure the rest of the guests at my party, huge party, will kind of miss me if I went to Evoke. So unfortunately, I cannot come.
Just bring all your guests with you.
Yeah.
Let's go on a road trip.
Yeah, actually, I thought about doing, instead of all this family and stuff, doing a bus full of Demosceners, driving them to Evoke on my cost, but it would be just too much of a hassle and too expensive.
Dwarf is asking a question also on the chat. When is 0 to X in Y 2 coming?
Yeah, that's actually the request for a demo.
Okay. Okay, so if there's no more questions for Punqtured right now, we're gonna move on to Virgill. Guys on the chat, feel free to ask questions at any time, regardless of who is speaking. So Virgill, please let us know, how did you get into the demo scene? A long time away in a faraway galaxy.
Well, I got my first computer was the C64 when I was 10. And I started making music. I always wanted to do music with computers, and I started with 12 with the sound monitor program from Chris Hülsbeck. It was in 1986, and it was just a great program. You know, in Germany there's a newspaper magazine for C64. It was called 64er. And there was a listing, an assembler listing, hexa values. You have to type them in to get this program. 2 weeks I was typing, and then I had this music program. It was just great, yeah. And the first things I made with it were covers of tunes from the radio, like the Final Countdown and.
I think we all did that.
Yeah.
Axel F.
Axel F, of course. Yeah. Yes, I've done that too. And sadly, all the binaries are lost, but I have found some old cassette tapes where I recorded my music.
Oh my god.
A lot of noise and a lot of wobble and but it's preserved now as MP3.
So, I think it's better to just remake them nowadays. I think you might have better quality as well. You might have learned a thing or two about production, meanwhile.
Yeah, these are good music pieces for the Nordlicht Gravedigger competition to put them out.
Oh yeah, there's Nordlicht coming up. It's this weekend. Can you tell us a little bit about that for people who don't know what it is?
Well, Nordlicht is in Bremen, a demo party in Bremen, north of Germany, and about 150 people are attending every year. It's nice and cozy and a great party, and it has a lot of funny competition, like the mentioned Gravedigger competition. You have to put their unreleased stuff, which is at least 10 years old, and the people are partying to your music or your old crappy demos, and that's just great. And yeah, next party is this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, I'm gonna play an invitation if I can find it. Which doesn't seem to be working right now. Okay, so tell us about your first demo. Is this the one that's playing right now?
Not really. Some things aren't on YouTube. What was my first Amiga demo was around 89 or 1990 or something. This is from 91. It's not the first. I can't remember exactly what was the first one. I think one of the first was coded by myself. I've already tried coding on Amiga, but didn't succeed. I stepped back and concentrated fully on music because I wasn't talented at those times.
You've been doing music all this time, but you also code. I was very surprised when I started seeing 4Ks where you were the coder, because I thought, oh, what the hell? He's a musician. How the hell is he doing shader code all of a sudden? So
it's
how
really annoying.
have you just been trying graphics all this time and never releasing, or how?
No, I in 2013 I was really bored, and nobody took my music, so I thought I will start coding, and I've tried a lot of OpenGL and used the framework from IQ, which is in the internet. I'm still using it, and so it's developing. I'm not a good coder at all, not yet.
Okay, well, I will play one of your first 4Ks that you did. It's called Shaver.
Yeah, it was the second one. My first try with this technique called ray marching, and yeah, it's really ray marching here. Well, I was overall surprised that you can get so much out of this little loop, this little ray marching loop inside your code. It's really funny.
Do you also program some audio things, like your own synths, effects, stuff like that?
No, I'm just doing patches for synthesizers and trying synthesis techniques and.
Because I mean, lots of musicians who also program, they usually program their own VSTs and instruments and stuff like that. And since you program graphics, I figured that you might also do some audio programming, since you're interested in audio. But were you just never interested in programming that side of things, or?
No, I don't think I will get anything good out of it.
Okay, fair enough. You'd rather be a user than...
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a full-time musician, is that it? Do you do production for games, or...?
At the moment, I'm a programmer for automation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but fairly easy logic stuff. It has nothing to do with programming on computers.
Okay, I thought you were a professional musician. Well, did I get the idea wrong, or?
Yeah, it's just a hobby.
Okay. You have a lot of guitars on your background for just a hobby, and synthesizers.
That's what started tonight's background competition. If you notice the theme, Punqtured, where's yours? It's out of frame.
It's out here.
Cool.
So
Cool.
Oh.
We were comparing guitars earlier on, because Virgil has them on the wall.
Playing songs, lullabies for the daughter.
Nice.
That's also important.
I just play for my dog.
He's a good listener.
He is, and he's being nice and quiet at the moment, which is.
Okay, I guess we should move on. If anyone has any questions on the chat, please feel free to ask Virgil about it. Meanwhile, we are going to talk with Fell. So Fell, tell us, how did you get into the demo scene?
I had an Amiga and really enjoyed track intros. I think I came by a issue of Grapevine magazine, which I only learned recently that Truck was involved with in a major way, I think. And it always had a members wanted section at the back, and I joined a British Amiga group called LTech, who nobody remembers, but there's some quite well-known sceners out there who started in LTech. Wade would be one of them. And I was just a swapper. I was learning to code, and I think at some point the coder left, and they said, okay, you're the coder now, but that wasn't happening. I was far too lame to release anything, and completely drifted away. And then in I think 2011, I was running some kind of informal code camps, and trying to teach people with very little programming experience programming through the medium of graphics. So it's kind of, here's a frame buffer. Within the context of this, we're going to learn how computer programming works.
Was that like as a workshop kind of thing for?
Yeah, it was. I had a little cottage in the Lake District at the time, and would get kind of small groups of friends or friends of friends up to. I mean, it was just a very small kind of informal thing.
But just for kicks, or?
Yeah, absolutely, just for kicks. And a couple of them went on to kind of have careers in various forms of IT, but didn't massively become demo sceners. We kind of, I picked up more demo sceners on kind of the road forward, but Rift grew out of kind of a way for alumni from those little workshops to maybe go on to do something in the scene to kind of give them some motivation. And of course, we were looking at a lot of scene productions as inspiration when we're figuring out cool things that you could do with graphics. And then I went to Demo.js and met UPS in
2012.
Yeah, exactly. And very soon after that, I hooked up with Scomp, who was already in DSS, I think. And that was kind of the acceleration point for me. Yeah, that's about it.
What was your first demo that we can show here? Was it Launchtro?
I think Launchtro DSS is the earliest thing on YouTube, because none of those JavaScript things really stand a chance of running and on YouTube. So this was my first released MIGI prod, and I was so proud of it and put months into it. And it was kind of, hey, you know, if only I could have done this when I was 15, 16, when, you know, I was seeing names like Virgil and thinking these guys were just gods. So this was really good to just get something out there. As you know, there's a Saki comment on Punqtured that says, "Oh, your dot tunnel isn't even running in full frame rate," and it's not. But you know what? Cheers, lads.
Everybody knows that if you don't have full frame rate, you're a lamer. I'm looking at what other stuff we can show from you. I was trying to find a link to Borntro, but it seems that it's not on YouTube. There is Dr. Wah, which also seems amazing.
That's a Punqtured. So I don't know if
So
you wanna,
maybe...
don't know if you're gonna spoil the vibe by showing that or not, but I'll see if I can find Borntro.
Okay, let's see what else we have. Shroomsday device.
Yeah.
Shroomsday device should be watchable. Not
Yeah,
sending
it's
fuckings to anyone.
It's watchable.
Ah, yeah, I know this one.
It has shrooms.
It did. This was the start of us trying to Raymarch biological things, or at least trying to find some way of doing something slightly different to what people are generally doing in Raymarches. But this whole thing's Raymarched.
Mm-hmm. Distance functions, eh?
Indeed.
So it seems everyone is doing ray marching stuff nowadays, especially on intros. Do you think that's like the future for 4Ks? Everything is gonna just be ray marched?
I see all these comments to say, oh, you know, I'm so sick of Raymarching. That doesn't actually make any sense. That's like saying, oh, I'm so sick of triangles, so sick of polygons. I mean, it's a rendering method, you know? Like, what you choose to render with it is up to you. But if you're sick of a rendering method, then you haven't got any fucking imagination.
To try harder. Virgil,
Yeah,
do you agree?
Exactly.
Do you agree with the thing about ray marching? Do you think people are gonna keep focusing on ray marching, or go back to, you know, objects and triangles?
I think some people are going other ways, like Nobi is doing nowadays, or Fizzer. It's still kind of ray marching, but with another touch, like this voxel cone tracing and what it's named and stuff I fully don't understand.
I'm looking for other stuff we can play meanwhile. I guess we can go back to stuff from Solskogen, which just happened last weekend. This is Super Void by 50 Shaders of Grey.
Yeah, nice one.
It looks Raymarched as well. I'm not sure if it is or not.
Yes, it is.
Definitely not a 4K sense.
So, what are the demos that you are most proud of having done? I guess I'll start with you, Punqtured. What's the demo that you really felt like, this was great?
It's really difficult. I guess it has to be, for the amount of work I put into it, the soundtrack for the Nexus 8 8K Pro.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It really took a long time to recreate.
What's your feeling of doing a remake? I mean, you get a lot of shit for just, you know, not having imagination.
Yeah, I didn't do the composition, of course, but from a technical perspective, it really was an achievement. We created the synthesizer while we converted the music. I think we ended up around 2K for the music. For an original track of almost 200 kilobytes, and it took like ever. And yeah, you can see the credits on the stream. It's Blueberry and Psycho. You seriously don't want to mess up when you're with those guys. So I think I spent around 2 months together with Blueberry while he made the synthesizer. I converted more samples.
Did you actually have the original track and just convert the samples, or did you have to retrack it?
I have the original track, and Blueberry made a small script and then laid it out because all the instruments are mixed in each channel in the 4-channel module. Out, so one instrument, I added.
You're breaking up again, Punqtured. Sorry.
Track. And
yeah, we still can't hear you. I'm sorry.
I'll just turn this down.
Now we can hear you.
Yes, I added an extra track next to the sample track, and then compared the synthesized instrument with the actual sample, and then got as close as I possibly could. Sometimes I wrote to Group where he had to change something into the synthesizer. He did a lot of optimizations on the synthesizer while we did this as well.
Was this Oidos already, or was this?
Yes.
Okay.
But we didn't have reverb. But of course, it was none of the samples. And we had.
Okay, we lost you a little bit there again, but yeah, it's
Sorry.
technical difficulties, but that's okay. I guess we'll move on to Virgill. Virgill, what's the production you are most proud of?
I mean, how do you start? I'm really interested to hear your answer, because how do you start to pick?
I don't understand you. What?
Like, I mean, you have such a ridiculous back
gazillion.
catalogue to choose from. How are you even going to start to pick?
Well, I have no clue. I think the most known demo is the Interference Amiga demo.
Yeah, but are you really proud of it because it was famous, or?
I was proud of it in those times. Nowadays, not anymore.
Let's play it anyways while you think of a second best. It's 9 minutes. It's like huge.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
So why aren't you so proud anymore? Do you just feel it's dated, or?
Because most of the samples are ripped.
That's
like
the old school way of doing stuff on Demoscene. Everyone,
Yes.
the moment you
Except
had a module, the
Hoffman.
first thing you would do would be to rip all the samples so that you can try it on your own tracks later on.
Sure, but I remember how we worked on it, and I was visiting the Bose coders in Saarbrücken, and we were there for some days and worked on this demo and on the soundtrack, and it was a nice experience. Yes.
There's a very important question on the room. Why is the Amiga the best platform ever made?
Amiga!
Amiga!
I mean, let's try to give it a serious answer. Why do you think it's that good? Is it just nostalgia value because it was your first computer, or?
I mean,
Sure.
I honestly, I'm not going to begin to field this in the presence of Virgill. He's going to talk about this now.
No, keep going.
It's just so good. There are no words for it.
Well, it's our childhood.
Yeah,
So
I guess. Okay, all said. So what other production are you most proud of, like the modern ones?
The modern ones, maybe the first PC thing I've coded, it was dot. D-O-T-T, dot.
Like Day of the Tentacle?
Yes. So it's not very much.
Let's play it. Let's see what it is. It's an 8K.
Yeah, I didn't got it down to 4K because I didn't knew the tricks. Yeah.
But are you happy with it because it was your first coding achievement, or do you like the result of it, the final?
The result is okay, but I love it because it's my first thing on PC. Yeah.
Okay. How was the crowd reaction to it on the party place?
I think it only got third, but that's not so important for me.
So one of the most marking moments for any Demoscene programmer is when you have the stuff on the big screen and people clap at the end of after it's been shown. Like, it gives you a certain sense of feeling, even if it's crap. People still applaud out of courtesy. You always feel that, oh yeah, finally some recognition for all the days that I spent debugging this crap. What other production are you proud of? Is this it? Is this the best? The best you can do?
The best I can do. So there's a lot of music I'm proud of, yes, but...
Does it feel less when you do a production that you only did music for? Does it feel like you don't own a part of it as much? Because I feel that with my stuff. When I only did music, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's good, but that's not really mine, because I just did the music, I didn't really...
Yes, for sure. If you're doing everything by yourself, it's more yours. And all my 4K intros or 8K things I'm doing all by myself, so it's more from me.
Okay, Fell, what is the production you're most proud of?
I'm going to go with quite an obscure one, actually, because you already played it. No, not Hardcore Vibes. But it is a TRSI prod. It's just a little invite that, and it was even mostly Scump that coded it, but it was our first release for TRSI, and I've already explained the background of being kind of a teenage fanboy in a big way, and that was a really big moment to release something under that label. So
is it
I don't know how to pronounce the name of it.
Yes,
the Fortress Sick. An invite for Northcon demo burst, and it annoys the hell out of me that Scump did. He wrote the text as "We like to invite you to," and it's the very first bit of text that you see, which is terribly annoying. But
it's wrong.
It's wrong, yeah. But awesome tune by Cons, I think.
Yeah, Cons, get him back to the Demoscene.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah, we need to do that. So I mean, it's just a little. It's a simple little thing, but it's just what it represented for me at the time. So, yeah.
You're finally accepted into the big boys group that was TRSI.
For some reason, yeah.
Well, where is Scump from originally? Is he from the UK?
No, he's I mean, he's living in Hamburg. I don't know if he's originally from Hamburg.
Okay.
I should know that.
I thought he was British by some reason.
No.
Okay, we have to have them on the show at some point as well, if he would like to.
I'm sure he'd love that.
I'm thinking of other things to ask you guys. If anyone on the chat has any questions, this would also be a great time to say them, ask them. What other things can we play? I would really like to see a few more demos from Solskogen. Mostly Well, the new demo from Cocoon was also pretty good.
Yes.
The 4K intro we already saw. The one from
There's
Paralight.
an 8K intro that was also nice.
And there's
From,
also the we have to see the Trusak invite for the wild.
Yes.
The wild.
Okay, so let me queue stuff up from Solskogen.
Actually, I already added the Ambassadors of Chaos.
Okay, I guess we can watch that one next. Where is it? Final.
It's all the way
here.
at the bottom.
Yes, here.
Oh. It really captures the feeling, the sensation of Trusak. If you haven't gone there, you should.
It has a fireplace.
Pure mayhem.
We have been tormenting your bodies and souls.
So what parties do you guys go to nowadays? You were saying, Punqtured, earlier on that you only have time for Danish parties,
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah, Danish
Because
parties,
your
of
father
course,
now?
Yeah. Actually, there's only one left. There's Trusak, of course. And Easter party, as always, it's mandatory. This year, I'll be attending Nordlicht as well on Friday.
Yes, nice to meet you then.
Yeah, we'll meet there. I had hoped to come to either Soulspoken or Evoke, but it just didn't work out. I so wanted to go to Outline and stuff.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing my ass off at the invitation. I didn't know you had Happy Hardcore in Denmark. I thought it was a Dutch thing.
Oh.
Ah.
You should watch the DJ mixer. It's actually two horns with smoke coming out of it. And the acid combo at Trusak. It's an amazing invention.
I'm sorry, I call this Happy Hardcore, and apparently it's not Happy Hardcore. It's not happy. It's just hardcore, I guess.
At the acid combo, all the entries are live mixed. It really adds to the party feeling, and you have people dancing while usually Hoffman. I would
like
say
as
the
a DJ set.
Yeah, exactly. But all the entries are live mixed.
But not by Hoffman this year.
But not by Hoffman this year.
No, sadly.
No.
Hoffman, everyone is crying that you're not DJ setting them.
And I actually think, oh, that's the DJ set. I think they're going to reuse that setup.
It's like the Viking horns, but now turned into the devil's horns.
Exactly. Might have saved a few bucks on the props there.
Wasn't it the Zach that had free barbecue for the visitors?
No, I don't think so. But there's a beer and snaps break during the combos. You have to drink beer and snaps, and it's
like
free.
You stop the combos and you just have everyone has a schnapps and then you continue.
And the combos won't be commit until all the beer and snaps is gone.
That's great. Very nice.
It's just fun as hell. Home to hell. Yeah, enough advertising.
This reminds me of the Terror Dome compilations, the adverts that were on the Viva channel when I had cable.
Ah.
Acid for ducks. Oh, there's Truck.
Yeah.
Truck recommends that you go to hell.
And then.
So Purist is saying that the point was to redo that. Okay, so mission accomplished, apparently. Okay, what is this play now? I believe...
That's Struck by Outtracks.
Okay. I haven't seen this one.
It's old. It's not from...
not
from
okay, I thought it was the new one. But they haven't released
soundtrack.
It was Keyboarders that released something on on Solskogen. Let me try to find it. Where the hell? This playlist is a fucking mess. It's easier to just search for it again than to actually look it up. Okay, Solskogen. Because I haven't seen the new one from Keyboarders yet, and I know they have a new demo as well. And I want to see that one because I haven't.
Yeah,
it wasn't on YouTube, and I was lazy to download it. Do you guys have that problem? Do you always download the demos and watch them? Because I always just watch them on YouTube now.
Heresy.
It's a bit sad, but it is what it is.
Most of the 4Ks I actually run from my own computer.
Same.
But the demos and stuff like that, I just check it out on YouTube.
I do confess to that as well. Yeah, exactly the same. The 4Ks I run.
Teenagers with kids.
Well, if it's a codec killer, you know, and it just looks like shite on YouTube, but I think it's probably worth watching, then I'll run it.
Yeah, but those are the few demos that I do it for. Most of them I just put it, 1080p quality, and I just watch it on YouTube because I'm a lazy bastard.
There's exceptions though, like any Billa Trip prod, I know that YouTube's not going to be able to handle, so I'll download straight off.
Yeah.
There's probably a few others on that list as well, where I just think no.
This one is pretty YouTube unfriendly as well. A lot of pixels.
This is a lovely thing. I really like it. It took a while to sort of suck me in, but I find it's really hypnotic. Yeah.
Yeah, the music is very chilled. I don't know why it has the PlayStation symbols though, but well, whatever.
I hadn't actually seen them as that until you pointed it out.
I ruined it for you. We were having such a good time, and now you see PlayStation everywhere.
I love that bit.
Yeah, pretty good.
Very moody.
It's turning into a circle!
Yes.
This reminds me that I wanted to do a visualizer for...
Nice.
I wanted to do a 24-hour live stream of my net label with just chill-out tracks. I wanted to do a proper visualizer because there are lots of YouTube channels with live radio, but they always just have like this anime picture and then some particle effects maybe, and they show the name of the image. And I figured, yeah, we could actually do something decent, you know, instead of just an image. Do some interactive visuals.
Real life happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keyboarders, okay, and now we just jump to something else. Yeah, this list needs to get organized. I wanted to see the 4K also by Legicoma, which was also pretty good.
364.
I believe Hoffman spent 3 weeks in Notepad composing this track. Hoffman, is that correct?
That Ferris can't program? It's
I don't think so. No. Yeah, confirmed. Oh, you talented buggers, though. It is annoying.
It's really curious how you just go from making PC stuff to making stuff for the Commodore. I mean, yeah, Charis was bored.
Did a lot of did a lot of NES stuff as well.
Yeah. The Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I actually see his streams now and again. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
See, I don't know this platform at all, so I never know what I'm looking at, but that was some nice plasma.
Yeah.
And that wavy thing, like, guys, do any of you see 64? Can you tell me, is that difficult? Because it looks awesome.
I have no idea. No idea.
Somebody competent, let us know on Twitch chat.
C64 coding is much more difficult than on PC. Believe me, 10 times more difficult.
It does come with that gorgeous palette, though. Anything that I see on C64, I just think looks beautiful because of the palette. So
because it has
not
less
fit
color.
to judge it at all, but it's a gorgeous prod. Yeah, but it's the particular colours that they are.
You only have to pick 8.
Yeah, but it's the 8. I have a Spectrum, okay? Not known for its purity of palette.
But we have more colors on the Spectrum. We have brighter greens. They don't have brighter greens on Commodore.
Vaporwave palette, yeah, absolutely. RC55 has nailed it.
Okay, this one we already saw, but it's also pretty good. Okay, any last questions on the chat? Otherwise, we will be ending the stream quite soon. I feel like we should have talked about something else. What was it? We already talked about soft synths and how people should make more music with them and how they're not and they should. What else is there to say?
I got all my points through, at least.
If you're a musician and you're complaining that no one wants to use your music, use a fucking soft synth.
Yes.
There are a lot of people looking for 4K tracks.
Yeah. I think that's how I ended up in 4 groups.
Next
but
party.
it's graphitions that are hard to find, actually. If you have a need for one. Not,
yeah.
But
that's another reason you do 4K.
You don't need graphition.
But very recently, actually, Rift have acquired a wonderful graphics studio. So say no more.
Much more to be seen.
What are you guys planning? I heard Virgill is working on something for Nordlicht and apparently Punqtured as well.
Yes.
What else? What else is there after Nordlicht, or is that too far in the future for you?
I think actually Evoke.
Evoke, yes.
Yeah. Actually, we kind of need to start working on that at Nordlicht. So we're doing a 64K probably for Evoke if we'll manage.
You're doing 64K? Damn, you're destroying my plans. I was thinking of what I should aim for at Evoke, and I was thinking, okay, everyone does 4Ks, and everyone will do demos, so I'll go for the 64K, because there are only like 5 groups active, and then I can get rich, because no one will do a 64K for Evoke. I mean, Mercury and Conspiracy and Farbrush and stuff, they won't do 64Ks.
Well,
they are going to aim them for revision or assembly. Not even.
I think there's 2 opportunities a year for revision level compos. I mean, the level at Evoke was ridiculous in every compo last year.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting to see that again.
Me too. Me too.
I'm kind of ditching my 64K idea. Because I had this idea for one effect. I spent like almost 1 month trying to get the fucking effect working. Now it's sort of working. It's not buggy like hell, but it still crashes. And I figured that I don't have track, I don't have other effects, so I think I'm just gonna drop that idea and focus on the interactive compo instead. That's what I've been doing on the last 2 days. I've been just coding the interactive compo thing. And I think it's
64K before you knew that we had...
well, it's still there on the back of my head, but I figured, I'm not doing much progress.
You should finish it, though. You should finish it.
I think I will try to finish the interactive first, and if I finish the interactive first, like, this week, then I will look back into 64K again, and maybe try to make it work. I am looking for a musician, but I'm looking for a musician for a very specific platform, which is JavaScript. And it's harder than it sounds.
What are you using? Using the old Sonant JS there, or?
No, I'm not. But if you have a track for Sonant JS, I will use it.
I do not.
Does anyone have a track for Sonant JS? If anyone does, I will use your track. Well, if it's any good, I will use your track. Because the thing is, I don't have a musician to do stuff for Sonant JS. I mean, I could try myself doing stuff for that.
I like the synth though.
Yeah, but
no, I don't.
It sounds like we have a match.
Yeah,
No.
that's another idea.
Nope. Honestly, all I can do is be the guy that starts something so that somebody else will start something competent. That's all I can do for you.
You're damn good at that.
Actually, I saw that as a way to get stuff done. I saw that in a few talks, that you should leave a bad placeholder so that the person, when they're watching, they see that that's so bad that they want to fix it. So they fix it.
Absolutely.
Instead of, saying, it's not ready, there's nothing here, I'm not sending you anything. Send them a preview with the stuff very wrong, so they feel forced to fix that.
We can get a topic out of that, actually. How do you guys go about, fleshing out the timeline? Say you're working on an intro, a size-coded prod. Do you go depth first or breadth first? Do you try and fill up the timeline with placeholder stuff and then fill in with content, or do you get the kind of core, most important look of the thing so that it's entirely implemented and then build the prod around it? Do you have any rules on that, or do you just kind of vary prod to prod? Discuss.
I only know it from the musical side.
Sure.
And usually I just get a single screenshot or even a written idea of what someone are going to do, and then I just do 1 or 2 or 3 quick examples, 2 or 3 patterns only, and I send back the examples, and then the coder will go, oh, this is more like what I wanted, and then I develop further on that idea. But then, of course, it's always a mix. Then I go, hey, we could do like this, and the coder does, oh, we needed to go more like this, and and then I see something, actual movement, and I'm like, I could do this instrument would fit with this. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a ping pong, really. That's how I do it with the minimal guys, at least Glow and Trevor, and it really works well. Sometimes I create a full track and then pass it on to them, and based on what they hear, they create some visuals that kind of match, and then I only do minor adjustments.
But do you start off thinking, okay, I'm gonna launch Oidos and create a new track without any idea of what visuals? Okay.
Yes, sometimes I do. A lot of times, it just usually just ends up being nothing really. But every now and then, at least there's a new instrument or a short melody that actually works.
Yeah, then you can reuse it.
Exactly.
For other
so I have
stuff.
All these bits and pieces lying around to grab when people go, oh, could you do in 2 days? Ah! Of course.
Okay, what about you, Virgil? What's your process?
My process is just experimenting, putting things together that are not meant to go together, and trying different parameters. And when I find a nice scenes, then or nice materials, or nice combination of materials, then I work from there on. And later on, I compose the music for my intros. Yeah, trying to make it fit.
Oh, so you write the effect and then try and find the music for it?
Yeah.
Ah, that's interesting.
Trying to find to create the music which is supporting the mood of the visuals. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, that helps it fit. That's one problem with the cold-getting graphics that I at least have, is that you try to make something that fits that, but then you can't quite make that effect work very well, so it ends up not really fitting that well. So then you don't really have a way to go around it. I mean, either you try to remake it into something that will fit, which can be quite hard if you're doing graphics and the effect is not working. But doing the other way is a bit easier. At least I find it easier to change stuff in music to fit the mood of the graphics a bit better. But I guess it depends.
I think I go the other way.
It always, either the musician or the coder have to make compromises. You can't always stand like this and like this. You have to meet in the middle to make it fit.
We're not. Rift internally is not so good at meeting in the middle, but it tends to be. But that still works fine. It tends to be whoever cares most wins. It's kind of it's a lot like being in a band, actually. And when it comes to the initial seed of a prod as well, it's kind of reminiscent of being in a band and somebody turning up to band practice with a new song, and it might be just a riff, or it might be a kind of fully fledged song already. So somebody might just kind of come with an effect or a complete vision of how they want this 2.5 minutes of 4K to go.
We have a few questions on the chat.
In a band, you won't have the guitarist usually wouldn't know or dictate how the drums should be played. So everyone jams and everything comes together.
In the perfect band, yeah, but the egos overlap.
We've kind of started having a nominated director and this can rotate on a per prod basis, as sort of more as a final gatekeeper of the vision than anything else.
It really helps.
Yeah,
it does. It does. We also tend to go kind of breadth first. I'm always a lot happier when I've got something that would be submittable, even if it was just compo filler, So as soon as it's the requisite length, then I'm always a lot happier, and then we can kind of focus on it scene by scene or whatever.
We have a few questions on the chat, so let's go over it. First, there's an old one that was lost, which was actually for Virgil, so we'll wait a little bit. So Virgil, there was this question on the chat asking how can you make a mod using the
excuse me.
Family comes first.
Yeah.
So there was this question on the chat going a while ago that was asking how can you make a good mod using the ST sample pack?
How you can do a good mod
using
the ST? Oh, well, just try.
Effect commands.
Because everyone already used the ST sample pack so much, so what else can you do with it? It's a trick question. I realize that.
It's a tricky question. Yeah, and a lot of musicians used those back in the days, and all modules sound the same. Yeah. At least try not to do an Axel F mod. Yeah.
Okay, so other questions in the chat we have. Do you challenge each other? Make this impossible fit with this impossible synth? So like asking for something impossible to your coder, or a coder asking something impossible from you as a musician. This is a question for all of you guys. So
that's certainly how a lot of our stuff gets implemented at all.
Yeah.
But it's normally more coder to coder bravado rather than sort of a coder to musician or so. Very often, if one of us doesn't understand something, one of the others will say, "Oh, you know, you're being stupid. It's really easy. Here, I'll implement it, and it'll be tiny. You'll see."
Yeah.
Well, I don't think.
And you know, it is.
Challenging each other requires knowledge of what the other part does, and I know absolutely nothing about the code going on in 4K intros. I do get requests. Could you do actually for Soulspoken 2 days before the party? I was asked, could you do a quick heavy metal track in a 4K? and I actually gave it a shot. It just didn't work out. So that's a challenge.
I remember you were asking Virgil on the Skype chat how you can make guitars in 4K because you were having a problem with Forklang not really having a way to distort them properly, from what I understood. Can you go over that talk again a bit, maybe?
Actually, it was I think it was the pitch glide or pitch control. I can't remember actually. It all came down to controlling it by an ADSR envelope. I can't remember what parameter it was we were talking about.
You wanted to have like a pseudo compressor, I think.
Yes, of course. Have one instrument compress the other, sidechain compression. And that was possible in Forklang, simply by storing the ADSR envelope used for the one instrument and pass it on to a gain or something on another instrument. So
okay, so easy enough. What about you, Virgil? Do you have any challenges? Do people? I guess since you do so much music, I guess people should challenge you to do music, right? Like I have this 4K, can you do music for it? Or is it the other way around? You just have music ready and you just give them
no, often people ask me, but I have music on my HD unused. It's seldom. Well, my challenge, I often challenge Goffer, he's the coder of 64Clang and 4Clang, to implement new features which are often impossible, like please can I have a convolution reverb in 64Clang 2, and it's way too big for using samples for convolution and such things, but it's developing steady.
Okay, very nice. Let's see what other questions we have on the chat. Duskon was saying something. When I was first seeing Virgil's Forklang music inside Renoise, I was really wondering as it is played at a real slow pace. Didn't expect that, but one understands it when it's all about memory savings. Yeah, it's small, but it all gets pre-rendered, right? At the beginning of the intro. Or is it played real time?
It's played real time, yeah.
Because I remember a few soft synths in the beginning of 2000. They would pre-render the instruments and then play the sequence in real time and mix it real time. Is Forklang all real time?
It's completely real time, yeah.
You can pick actually. You can choose if you want to.
You can choose to have it pre-rendered if you want to.
You'll save about 50 bytes in the prod if you choose to have it run real time, but you do need pretty much a core dedicated to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's pro tip right there.
Pleaster and Oiders are both pre-rendered.
Geoff had a question as well. Do you often start with a blank slate on both effects and music and build both in parallel? Well, we answered this a little bit, but I guess we can go over it some more. It depends. It largely depends on who is who is.
It depends on if you've got a tune or an effect first.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Or
I know
an
it sounds
idea.
stupid, but yeah, it just depends what. The seed can sort of come from either direction or neither, I guess. Like effects can lead to prods, and music can lead to prods, or other things can lead to prods.
So Rift, Offman had a question especially for you. When does the Rift House Band Euro Demo Party Tour kick off?
Who asked that?
Offman.
If he wants to come and scratch, and we could do a sort of because the only way I can see it working is as some sort of live rap metal extravaganza, and if we can persuade Bex to do live keys, then we can talk. We can talk.
Are you playing live at Evoke?
Are we invited to play live at Evoke?
I don't know.
I very much doubt that. No. We
could play outside. I mean, the real party is outside.
That's true.
Bring a guitar and.
Who had the loop pedal last year? I don't remember, but there was some excellent beatboxing and freestyle rap action to be had outside.
I think it was
So
KP.
who knows? Yeah. You're right. But no, we have no plans to play live at this time.
Alkama has a trick question for you as well. Can you revert a Navier Stokes?
No, but if he speaks to Mrs. Beanbag, she might be able to start on that equation for him. These are difficult.
And there's one last question on the chat. Is there a way to release 4K Clang tunes, even if it's just a screen with text that plays it, or does it have to be made?
Oh yeah, no.
You can render it.
There's it comes with
music.
it comes with like a wave writer, and also I think I'm right that it comes with an executable. They'll just kind of play your tune. If you just want an executable player, that's very simple to do. Yeah.
I mean, people use it for the executable music quite easily.
Right.
It's just using the command line.
Oh, how to share the actual music?
How can I
Not
share
the
it?
executable.
Just zip the
executable?
executable?
Completely. I mean, you can either, if you want to share it in a listenable format, you can render it down to WAV from inside your tracker or DAW. If you want to share it with other Forklang users, there's two bits that you'll want to share. You'll want to share, the MIDI that you're feeding it somehow, whether that be through your tracker file or a MIDI sequence or your DAW project file. But also you have to save you have to share the preset bank as well.
Yes.
Or your patch bank. Sorry if that's not quite.
We have a few of those preset banks. Virgil shared a few of them. We have it on the in4k GitHub.io site. If you go there, you have a link there. It's also on GitHub itself. We have a group for in4k stuff. So we forked Virgil's patches there. So I'm not sure. Well, I'll look it up. There's like a repository with banks, and I mean, if people have other they would like to share, that would be cool to have, because free resources for better demos. Forkling assets, this is the name. I'll gotta paste it here. So here, if you go to this repository, you have stuff there, and I mean, feel free to fork this and do a pull request or push request to add more stuff if you have any assets worth adding. I mean, we don't want all Forklang tracks to sound like they're using Virgil's instruments. We want them to,
Oh no, please don't.
Even though they are just slightly modified.
Honestly, there's quite a few using Punqtured's preset as well.
So yeah, Punqtured, I need you to fork this repository and add your instruments here as well.
It's in Punqtured's are in the Forklang distro.
Yeah. Oh, they're in the distro itself. Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, all the Oidos instruments I created are actually distributed with the zipped archive with the synthesizer, the VST plugin, and the converter tool and stuff like that. Also, all the songs and all the instruments I created are distributed with it, and Blueberry keeps adding as I create more.
Yeah,
so I open source everything.
Well, what is Blueberry's thing with synths? Why does he keep making more synths? Isn't he happy with the previous ones?
Don't question it. Just let him make more synths and also compressors. That's all fine. I mean, what are you even saying?
Each of the three major synthesizers actually cover different grounds. Where Forklang is a subtractive synthesizer, Klingster is frequency modulation, and Oidos is additive synthesis. So there are three different kind of synthesizers. So I guess Blueberry actually just wanted to see if it was possible. Also, additive synthesis requires a lot more CPU power.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure that's the reason that came last. But they're just three different kinds of synthesizers. And also, they always have new ideas, just like coders can say, oh, I could do this effect better, I can shave off bytes if I had only knew then what I do now. It's the same with him. He always knows how he just wanted to change slight bits here and there, and then he creates a new synthesizer.
Okay,
it's
it
easier
works.
Yeah, it's easier than backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Just create a new one every time you get a new idea.
Last question on the chat. Do you use version control for your work? I know I do. What about you guys?
Sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, actually we did it for the track playing now. We used Subversion. But
We use Git, but actually, I'm quite notorious for breaking it.
You break Git?
I'm very good at breaking the repo, yeah, but it's
you break the repo.
Yeah, frequently. But Scomp's abstracted most of the difficult stuff away in our tool, so I just need to click a little thing and magic happens. It's fine.
Yeah. The fix button.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone else have any questions from the chat? Otherwise, I'm gonna call it a night.
Oh yeah, and as Alchema adds on the chat, Blueberry's at least Oidos is also available for Mac right now, thanks to Alchema.
But does it only the player, or does it work as an executable as well there?
The VST and the converter, I think.
Okay.
Oh, and Klingster too.
Cool.
So not only Oidos, also Klingster.
I think everything on Mac is 64-bit nowadays. Only the PPCs are 32-bit, and that was like 10 years ago. So I think it's 64-bit. Bossman.
I have no clue.
Yep, So Nice apparently needs 64-bit synths and packers.
Oh, don't play this again. Play Signal to Droids.
Signal to Droids?
Signal to Droids. It's on the
Droids.
it's on the playlist.
It's on the playlist already?
This is my go-to outreach prod for showing non-sceners what the demo scene's about.
You show them a text mode demo?
Yeah, I do, because it makes it instantly obvious for some reason. People get it that it's a program running and not a video. So that's I always find that the hardest thing to explain. It's real time. Like, a lot of people don't have a context for what real time even means. And this is my favorite text mode prod.
I usually tell them video games that you need to have interactivity. And they usually get the difference between real time and video by that.
Sure.
Reality 404 says that he still can't explain it to his mom. It's hard, it's a process. It may take your whole life.
Does anybody know if Northern Dragons are still in existence? They haven't released anything for a while, I don't think.
Well, they still exist. I'm not sure if they're active, but I've seen guys around sometimes, so...
Cool.
Let's see when was the last time they did something. And they still organized the text
I think
demo.
it was an invite for... Yeah, they don't though. Do they not? Did it pass to... Or do they? I'm probably talking crap.
Let me check. TMDC.
I think the last thing they did was an invite for it, so maybe they do.
2016. The invite was by Balls in 2016. So, yeah, they might have passed the torch to someone else.
I hope they come back. I'm a big fan.
Oh, Alchem is saying that lobster synth with granular synthesis is coming. I would like to use that. I've been asking for granular synthesis for doing 64Ks in the demo scene since 2002. People were asking me, why don't you do sounds for 64Ks? And I'm like, because all my sounds are usually based on granular synthesis. I hate additive synthesis because it all sounds like piano. And I don't want to do tracks with piano. Everybody does fucking tracks with piano. I want to do experimental tracks. So I want to, time stretch and do weird things and do clicks that no one can figure out how they're made. I want to do those kind of things. And everybody like, oh no, granular synthesis, that's too complicated. That's not gonna happen anytime soon. And they were right, it hasn't come yet. So I'm still waiting on that.
Well, you should try 64Clang too.
I want to try it. Where is the download link?
It's not officially available.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not lit enough to try your program.
Well,
because I do 64Ks in JavaScript. Is that why? That's racist, JavaScript deserves the right to live as well. I don't think we could get 64Clang working on JavaScript though.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Oh, someone is asking for the Vectrex demo before we close the show, so yeah. I guess we have to. It has Vikings, so it's important.
If you haven't seen any Vectrex demos, the other one that I really recommend you watch is, I'm just going to check the name for it. I know it's by
Metal Voss?
CMU. No, the one that I think... Where Have All the Pixels Gone? Is, I think, the best on platform.
Okay, let's watch that one then. Hold on, let me find the video for it. The YouTube.
Certainly, when we were doing Raiding Party, that was the one that I thought, if I can get it so it's as cool as that one, I'll consider it a success. And since we just played Raiding Party last week.
So, how long did you work on your Vectrex demo for Nova? Like, how many days, weeks?
Bex joined Rift, and then I bought a Vectrex because suddenly we had a musician who would be able to deal with the AY chip. And straight away I started writing routines that ended up in Raiding Party. So I think it was kind of over about 6 months, but it was actually for Trisac last year. But I ended up not being able to go, so we saved it and retargeted it just a little bit for Nova. But that's why there's, it was the Viking Trisac, so that's why there's a Viking at the start that says Schnaps. I mean, and where the whole theme came from.
You should have done like invitation for next year's Trisac.
I know, yeah, I know. And I think actually the Pacific guys, Wasp and Dead Guy, even brought their Vectrex to.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, I feel really bad.
I remember a thread on Poet, you asking that. Okay, can someone get a Vectrex because I can't bring it from UK and I need it.
Yeah.
At least they showed some demos on it, I guess. It wasn't a complete loss. So how hard is it to program for the Vectrex? What's its
limitations? It's an absolute joy. It's just gorgeous. It's so analog, it really takes you by surprise. Like, you're drawing things by, oh, okay, I'm going to turn the beam on now. Now I'm going to set the voltage on these integrators to make it move this way a bit. It's fantastic. And it's the 6809, which, I mean, if you've never done any assembly, this is the absolute perfect 8-bit chip to be my first assembler. It's really, really awesome. You can do a lot of 16-bit arithmetic. It has an A and B register that combine to like a 16-bit D register that you can do a lot of operations on. It's just really, really comfy. And you've got a massive 32K of cartridge space. So even though 1K of RAM sounds like nothing, in fact, you know, you really don't need to store very much state for anything. So you don't even butt up against the RAM limitation. It's brilliant. And as a first 8-bit, I think it's a really cool choice. I'm a total advocate. There's also about 30 years of really good documentation and tools out there. All of the original IP was put into the public domain at some point in late 80s or early 90s.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah, like the BIOS disassemblies, or rather the original BIOS sources, I think. And all the internal development documentation. So it's all out there. And there's a really nice BIOS to do things like draw lines for you until you figure out faster ways of doing it on your own.
Are there... because most platforms that use assembly usually can program in C and then compile and just optimize stuff that needs to be optimized. Do you have to do everything in assembly for Vectrex? Or
I've seen a proof of concept C compiler, but I haven't seen it actually being used for anything.
Okay.
But the BIOS is really so friendly that you're you know, essentially just calling. If you want to do that, you can essentially just call routines from assembler. So you're doing everything in assembler, but it's very, very minimal.
Okay.
Or I mean, it can be, you know, if you don't mind being slow. But ideally, while the beam is moving, you want to be recalculating and using the processor as much as you can. So
yeah,
sooner or later, you throw away the BIOS routines and kind of re-implement them all as macros.
So what's this talk about that you're having with Dasko and Punqtured? What's this about?
I have no clue, actually.
So Virgill, what's a comeback tracker?
Oh, it's the new tracker program from Pink from Abyss. It's a chiptune tracker. Nice tracker, yeah.
Ooh,
what's its limitations? Does it...
4 channels.
Okay.
Can I just say Reality 404, you are on. I'd be delighted, mate.
There we go, Tursak invitation. Non-official.
Yeah.
Oh, it plays on the GPU. That's interesting. I've been seeing some actually JavaScript stuff that does sound completely on the GPU. And that's very interesting. I haven't done any of that because I suck coding sound. But some Japanese guys did it, and I've seen it on some other stuff. And that's a very interesting concept. I would like to try and see more of that on the demo scene. Because, I mean, if you have the GPU available, you can do stuff on the web browser and use the GPU to play the sound, or at least render the sound, and be able to do some more interesting stuff with sound.
There's actually a lot of, or not a lot, but some 4K intros that uses GPU synthesis for sound.
I remember the stuff from FMSCAT and 0x45 something also has that.
Yeah, that's right.
They even released a tool framework kind of thing where they have specifically, you see the JavaScripts there, and there's one just for sound, you know. Compute your sound here.
But again, it requires coding skills to do music. It really limits the number of musicians able to do music that way.
Yeah.
That's why they should do somehow a VST plugin that could actually output something that could actually be used by the GPU. I have no clue what I'm talking about, but it must be possible. Really.
Output a formula that gets computed there that can be included
something like that. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for today's show. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Sorry about the technical difficulties earlier on. Thank you specifically, Punqtured, for
You're welcome.
Being here. Virgill and Fell, of course, are 3 guests that we had today. Thank you also to all the viewers who just watched this, and the guys who support on Patreon. You see the guys listed below there. They're the guys who...
That's me.
Punqtured also supports me on
Nice.
Patreon for doing Mystery Demoscene Theater 9000. You don't have to support me on Patreon. I will keep doing Mystery Demoscene Theater 9000 regardless if you do. We will have a show every 2 weeks. But if you can, that would be great. Because, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to focus on not working for clients, working for the stuff that I love doing. And doing stuff for the demo scene is one of them, including this show. So, yeah. So check out my Patreon if you guys want. Other than that, that's it for today. See you in 2 weeks. And thank again for all our guests for their insight in... mostly, I think we talked a lot about soft synth stuff today.
Yeah.
That's fitting, though.
So, bye everyone. Take
Cheers.
care.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.